Thank you, Tyler. I love how that video focuses so much on keeping people engaged and also transparency. I think you'll hear that's a big theme that comes up when it comes to bridging online and offline action. Rashad, could you please give us an overview of the work of ColorOfChange, in particular some of the success you've had on past campaigns, and maybe also a little bit about how it came about after Hurricane Katrina?
Absolutely. It's great to be here, everyone. So ColorOfChange started in the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina, so 8 years ago, just this past August, when a number of activists around the country were looking at what they could do to respond to what was happening in the Gulf Coast. And folks were giving money, they were volunteering, they were doing all sorts of things to make their sort of compassions a reality. At the same time, there were many folks looking at the failure of our government to adequately take care of and be responsible for the most vulnerable, and also the lack of sort of quick response from progressive and civil rights organizations. And the idea that these moments are consistently happening all around the country, all around our world, and how do we take those moments and translate them into movements, in particular leveraging the moral authority of civil rights in this country and folks who are outraged in those moments and giving them something to do in real time that, like Jeremy says, has a clear theory of change, and that by bringing people together that are having these kind of same visceral reactions, we can turn that into something more powerful and bigger long term. At ColorOfChange, we work to hold government and corporations accountable with this idea that by ensuring that they are responsible and responsive to Black Americans, all of us win. We have this sort of saying that when oppressed people win, all of us win. Victories for immigrants, for Black folks, for gay and lesbians, are not just victories for those individual groups. When feminists win victories, little girls have more opportunities, but so do little boys. And at ColorOfChange, we believe that utilizing good storytelling, digital technology, and the voices of our nearly 1 million members all around the country, we can make deep impact. And so there was a lot that we did in the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina, but over the years we've really taken individual moments that have happened in the world. So for instance, when Glenn Beck went on the air and called President Obama a racist with a deep-seated hatred for white Americans, ColorOfChange jumped into action. It was sort of this moment that we've been having with the Glenn Beck show over and over and over again, but folks sort of were having that instant reaction. ColorOfChange developed a campaign that forced over 200 advertisers to leave the Glenn Beck show, forcing Fox to cancel it. It was a victory for people who were sitting at home having to have that information coming to their homes. It was a victory for people who didn't believe that it was going to be possible. And also at the end of the day, it made the organization stronger because as people were sort of sharing and seeing these victories, they saw that more was possible. And for Fox, the ratings actually never went down for the Glenn Beck show, but the last show was that show that you put gold in an envelope. The commercial was that show that you put gold in an envelope, you send it back in, and they send you back cash. That was the corporation that was advertising, not the Hondas or Toyotas or Walmarts or McDonald's that had been previously advertising. And so for us at ColorOfChange, we believe in those simple truths. And I just want to wrap up just with a really quick story, because folks will oftentimes ask us or come to us like, we want to set up a Facebook page, or we want to do a Twitter account, or we just want to do technology the way that you are doing it at ColorOfChange. And in the 60s, the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, SNCC, installed what was called a WATS line in their Shore University office. And WATS was the precursor to the 1-800 number, the 1-800 line. It allowed for organizers to pass the mob bell operators, who were largely at the time in the South controlled by the White Citizens Council and folks who weren't sympathetic to the cause of civil rights. And so when the WATS line was installed in this office, it didn't change the theory of change for SNCC. Didn't change their organizing strategy, but by overlaying a technology that allowed them to move information quicker and cheaper, it allowed them to be more efficient and to be able to get past opponents who are putting obstacles in their way. And so for us at Color of Change, when we work to make the voices of the young people in New York City who are being stopped and frisked just as loud and powerful as a billionaire mayor who supports the policy, we're not changing a strategy. What we're doing is trying to utilize technology and the best tools to tell their story and make them more powerful.
I think that's a really great point.